that's awesome. So I got a couple things. It's not overly exciting, but still we do here. I'm going to turn this around because everything's going to be backwards. Okay. So what I have here, and I just got these in from Robbie Bowman right there at Iron Mountain Metalcraft, and we got our pamphlets in for Forge and Memory Family, and this is all access on blacksmithing, leatherworking, jewelry making, axe throwing, and all kinds of cool stuff. So I just want to, I've been putting a link in the description for a bit and wanted to tell you guys about this. It says giving back. Forge and Memory, by giving back to groups and organizations, provides support and assistance to those in need. The Forge and Memory family supports a variety of charities. The Wounded Warrior Project and Turtle Island Preserve are two of our favorites. So absolutely, and we'll be down at Turtle Island teaching September 6th and 7th of this year. So those of you who get this a year later, it's for 2025. But I've got that going right there. Glad to have this in the shop. Very happy. Guys, I'm going to turn the camera back around and do an unboxing here. A lot of people will be like, mail call or something like that. This is going to be terrible. I guarantee it. Raise this up some. So part of what we do with Forge and Memory, we do a lot of metalworking. As you might notice, axes in the back, do a lot of videos on knives, and different things like that. And one of the things that I personally do quite a bit of is poured pewter fittings. So that's where I'm pouring those directly onto the handle material. And as you can see, I have a whole bunch of newspaper here. Well, I was on eBay and I saw where I could order some pewter. Now, some of this may be pewter, some of this may not be pewter. I'm going to find out. This is pewter. Pewter is relatively soft, so fairly easy to bend, and has a low melting point. What you get into a lot of times is what's called Wilton. And Wilton is a brand that makes pewter toned aluminum. Let's see, what is this? This is also, yep, that's pewter. I may have got a good deal on this. Let's see. This one is claiming to be pewter, and I'm going to go with that pewter as well. This, I'm not sure what the hell that is. That might be. I don't know. Sounds awful resonant. So this one is questionable whether that's pewter or not, and it's a chance you take when you're buying stuff like this. And I always figure that there's going to be some of this material that is discarded. Okay, there's a candlestick that is pewter. Here's another candle holder that is pewter. It actually says made in Germany. Here's a busted off candlestick or something that appears to be pewter. So far this is looking pretty good on what might actually be pewter. And what I'll do next is I'll go through and tear it all up and melt it down. There's part of a cup for a candle holder. Oh, here's a goblet of some sort. International pewter. That's pewter. Somebody out there is going, oh my God, that was antique, and he just destroyed it. I do that sometimes. Just hope it wasn't worth a whole hell of a lot. I want to melt it down and make knife fittings out of it. That is pewter. Like I said, a lot of this I've just got to go through. Another one of those goblets. I guess I could put whiskey or wine in those and drink them. But I found a collection of mismatched, some of it's matching, but mismatched scrap pewter. And that's what I do, is I take and I melt this down and make other things out of it that are awesome. Quite a few of those cups. And there's some more. So what I'll be doing in the near future is I'll actually be going through, smashing these up, cutting them up, and melting them down into ingots. Yep, that's pewter right there. And sometimes the weird shapes and all that can be a challenge to process. Another piece of pewter. What are like service for 8 or 12? How many of these things? Wow, even more. Yeah, and see, this is what happens with pewter, is that it gets put into a box somewhere and other boxes get put on it, and it deforms so easily that you end up with trash. Useful trash, but still trash. There's another broken part of the candlestick or candelabra or whatever now that is cool. If all of that is pewter, that is that's got some weight to it. That had a little more flex than I was expecting. That does not make me... it might be pewter. If it melts, it's pewter. If not, it's scrap. But it looks to me like all but maybe this one could be pewter. Now, that's a maybe. And that maybe, and we're going to run with it to a yes or no. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clamp this in. Now this is embossed under a press, so that grain does not look right. It's breaking very easily. Doesn't want to come out, okay? Well, here's what we're going to do, boys and girls. Take my handy dandy torch, my low propane torch, and we're going to rotate over here. We're going to find out, is this pewter or is it something else? And there's other alloys it could be. So let's find out. If it's pewter, that's going to melt really quick. Okay, it's starting to heat up. It's starting to melt. Well, it may be pewter as well. I don't think it's aluminum. I don't know. That Okay, hold on. Maybe it's got a heavy patina to it. Let's try this. I want to try melting some of this because, like I said, I'm just a little unsure about this whole thing. Now, pewter usually bends pretty easily. Keep in mind that if this is pewter and it's been put under a press, that it might be work hardened. Pewter can break like this. It's heavier than what I would expect aluminum to be, but it's quite brittle. If this piece isn't pewter, I'm not going to give the seller a bad review or anything. It's just it seems dense, but it seems harder. This. This stuff deformed, but it didn't really do what I was expecting it to. Got a muffin tin. Pliers. So I'm just gonna put this in the forge. Now, if it's aluminum, it's still gonna melt. That appears to have a higher melting point. And there's a chance that it's a zinc alloy of some sort. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to I want to add this until I can pour some. Subscribed yet, you should, and then check out some of my more interesting videos. That really seems like it might be aluminum. I do not believe that is pewter. It's heavy. It is heavy, but it is not, it's not melting like it should. Okay. In which case I just scrapped that. It's not a big deal. So what it's actually taking to melt that is not going to be something I can really use said, I'm not going to be mad at the seller or anything about this, because majority of that was pewter, and this is just what I'm going to do right here. Let me check that and. Okay. So, most of that was pewter, not so much. Yeah, this is, so what I was doing, blue, here's what I was doing. I was taking and busting up what I bought as a pewter plate that's not pewter. And I was I'm now disposing of it. I was taking that piece and melting it down to see, one, if it was pewter or not. And I'm going to go with it was not. I guess I'll just throw this in the trash can. Trash can. But that's okay. Now, sometimes I will get some useful pieces. For example, like this gravy boat right here, this works really well for when we do brush application of thinned linseed oil. So it's not a complete loss by any means. And like I said, most of this is pewter, and I am kind of wondering that has a weight on it. 13 pounds, 14 ounces. If I got 13 pounds of pewter for $75, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to complain about that. And we'll probably be doing some videos on open face casting and so forth. And be sure to check out Forge and Memory Family. I know this is backwards, but check out Forge and Memory Family. The link is in the description. Guys, it's been fun. I've got some other stuff I've got to get taken care of. And we'll be back with some cool builds soon. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Tell your friends. And hope to see you soon. Later.